Welcome back to the Shantae. We're not actually playing a Shantae mode. This is the final part, which means we're starting off our final bit of backtracking. Yay.
I was going to say, I think like the last 3 parts has started in Main Street. It's just you getting something that you couldn't get before.
Yeah, basically. Oh yeah, so you're supposed to do a platforming challenge to get I think you're supposed to like fly from a platform to the right to get that one, but screw that. You can just
that was almost as glorious as just infinitely enemy stepping and Devilbringer snatching a demon to get infinite air in Devil May Cry 4.
Go fly to the moon.
Because you can jump off an enemy's head in that game, but you can also snatch them up to you. So if you snatch them up and then jump off their head, it takes some timing, but you can just climb to the sky if you want. And you can do that even easier in the reboot, because they made enemy step easier to use for some reason. Okay, how can you even see that globe?
Well, she's not even looking at it if you think about perspective.
The perspective is wrong, because she's looking at the wall to the side of the room there, and the globe is in the background.
It's one of those Metroid things where Samus should clearly be able to see where the hidden pathways are, but you can't, you know?
Except in reverse. That's something that she should not be looking at.
Well, no, because in a 2D game, you know, where there's the wall that's fake and you should be able to see that it's fake in 2D, like she should be able to see, oh, I can walk through this, but you can't because you're looking at it from the side, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
then
video
again,
games are silly, is the point
yeah,
I was trying to make.
it's a world where you shoot doors to open them. And yeah, there's a lore explanation for it. I don't care, it's still dumb.
Well, wait, like, the normal people are supposed to, like, use a card key or something, right? And then it's just like...
No.
No?
It's an extremely it's an extremely lowly sensitivity door to shots.
Even when you're in the Federation ship at the beginning of Prime 3, I think you're still shooting doors to open them.
Yeah.
Yes.
and the guards that are standing around, because there were actual NPCs in that game, they just don't blink at this fully armed and armored bounty hunter who's shooting doors to get through the ship.
What happens if you try to shoot people in Prime 3? Actually, I don't remember. It's been a long time since.
No, if you're aiming at someone, the game does that thing where your character doesn't aim at them. You know.
Well, there's got to be a way to, like, MacGyver your shots to hit them in some way. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's got to be a way to murder people in Prime 3. You just got to figure out how.
There's probably a glitch where you can aim a shot at something, but it's probably not programmed to take damage from it.
That's what would make most sense.
It just might react as if you shot a wall.
Yeah. So I just earlier today, for the first time, watched some of the new Doom footage, and that's just kind of reminding me of how in that game people are reacting to the Doom Slayer when he's walking around in the NPC areas, kind of like how they should react to Samus in Prime 3, but don't. Where they're all really afraid of him, you know, and they're like backing away slowly because he could shoot at any moment. That's how people should be reacting to Samus, because that's...
Yeah, I love how he just pulls the guy with the key card along on a swivel chair and opens the door.
Well, you know, it's people... You say that, but when you think about it, the Federation soldiers in Prime 3 were just as heavily armed and armored as Samus. So...
Yeah, but they're not as good, though. It takes 4 of them to beat up.
Yeah, but you see,
Samus's
you could be
Morphball.
heavily armed. Lewis, you could be heavily armed with ham and cheese sandwiches, but at the end of the day, it's still a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, and the Federation, they've only got, like, what, Mountain Dew to fend off invaders
Hey,
with?
the Federation as portrayed in Prime 3 was actually an effective military. They just had a really bad... decision made as far as what runs their computers.
Yeah, I was gonna say what runs their computers and where their source of power.
Windows ME.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's actually true, because there's a couple of scenes where Federation troopers actually do shit in Prime 3, now that I'm thinking about it. I haven't gone back to play that game in forever.
Yeah.
But if you're a longtime Metroid guy, you know the Aurora unit is like, that's a mother brain, man. That thing's gonna go rogue. All it takes is just one bad day, and then they also use Phazon to power their weapons.
Another brilliant move.
It's like, did we Did we not learn anything from the first 2 games? This shit's bad news.
Technology's scary.
Well, I mean, you can sort of I can sort of not blame the Federation in that case because they didn't feature heavily in the first 2 games themselves, so they don't have the kind of personal experience Samus has with Phazon. You know, but
and at the end of the day, we used the PED suit.
Well, I thought we had to
Yeah.
use the PED suit because we were corrupted by Phazon, and that was keeping us from dying.
And when you think about it, if the Federation hadn't been fucking around with Phazon in the 3rd game, Samus would have died.
Well, to be fair, if they weren't fucking around with illegal Metroid research, she would have died in Fusion too. So, you know.
Yeah, swings and roundabouts.
So when are we doing the Metroid Prime Federation Force playthrough for BrainScratch comes?
Gotta do Echoes first.
Okay, your turn. You love
Well, I
Metroid
mean,
so much, John.
Well, that's been on John's list for years now.
Okay, I get that Risky likes taking baths. It's a very comfortable thing to do, but you gotta figure, by now her fingers and toes are like raisins, man.
Maybe she just works up a really good sweat doing her exploration hijinks or whatever.
That's not really gonna rehydrate skin that's had all of its oil washed out.
Yeah. Also, I wonder how she because the bath scene kind of confirms that she's got like really really long flowing hair, but she can keep it all under the bandana. I'm kind of as
Okay,
someone with long
be
hair, I want to
surprised.
know how you do that because that would be really freaking
You'd be
helpful.
surprised how compact you can make long hair. Basically, everyone at work has to put their hair up no matter how long it is. And I've seen some people who have like strikingly
Almost
long hair when it's down bundle it up really, really tight. In fact, the only people that can't seem to get their hair in order are the people with really, really poofy hair, which has to be like bundled up in this massive hairnet or something.
You know, it's okay that I fell because I can just skip all the platforming again. So it's fine.
Yeah, the frames are skipping it too.
What was the reasoning while we were fighting our mooks?
To test our defenses, I guess.
Yeah. Risky is trying to get them to actually stop her, so Shantae, if they can stop her, they can stop Shantae. Is her reason?
I guess the reason the spikes are on the ceiling are to stop you from using the cannon, huh?
Well, and the grapple hook.
Well, they're there in... I think they're there in Shantae's playthrough as well, because they're just scary and dangerous. In a lot of instances, they're also there to keep you from... make you fight the enemies,
Yeah,
too.
well, they were planning risky mode from the start anyway, so I imagine this was a level design element they included specifically for risky, because it's definitely
Oh, well,
more of,
you can climb on the
a
ceiling.
feature here.
You can climb on the ceiling in Shantae's mode, too, with the spider. So that's definitely something that they had in mind as well there. You know, it's actually
true.
It's actually interesting how, you know, the decisions of certain character abilities are done depending on the game, because in some cases when people are making games like this, they will keep certain things in level design in mind for future characters that aren't out yet. But from what I can tell from Way Forward and Yacht Club, when they finished a character before going on to the next one. So I think they didn't really have any idea how, like, like how Sky or Bolo would control when making Shantae's level.
Sky and Bolo was probably a different matter, but Risky was just going to be the return of all the Pirates Curse stuff anyway. So they had at least a loose idea of what she would play like.
Yeah, probably.
This is from you mentioned like that method of design though, because that's basically what Sonic 3 was like. You didn't have Knuckles until Sonic and Knuckles came out, but there were whole chunks of level that were designed for Knuckles.
Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles basically was just $60 DLC.
Yeah, it's especially weird in that case though, because Knuckles has more exclusive content in the Sonic 3 in the Sonic 3 levels than he does in any of the Sonic and Knuckles levels.
Yeah. Always did find that a little weird.
They probably just had more time to flesh out the Sonic 3 levels more, because Sonic and Knuckles was relatively rushed, if I remember correctly, right? Like
Sonic and Knuckles was in some part unfinished Sonic 3 content, Flying Battery, for example, was supposed to happen in the Sonic 3 chunk of the game. You were supposed to go from Carnival Night to Flying Battery to Ice Cap. They actually restored this really faithfully in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Complete ROM hack, where you fire off of a cannon directly upward, jump in from the bottom of the screen at the start of Flying Battery. It's night in Flying Battery, and at the end of Flying Battery, you break through the door, and instead of falling into Sandopolis, you actually surf on the door for Flying Battery down the hill in Ice Cap Zone. So that was an idea I think they kind of recycled in Sonic Adventure 2.
How did they do the transition from Mushroom Hill to Flying Battery then? I mean, like, well, it would be Mushroom Hill to whatever comes after Flying Battery. I don't know.
Sandopolis.
Sandopolis.
So
He just kind of rolls out and jumps into the sand.
yeah.
Yeah, some. Oh no. What it was is there was this pit with wind blowing up into the sky, and Sonic jumped into it and blew up and fell into Sandopolis from there. I think they kind of had to use their imaginations for that transition.
Yeah, because that sounds like a Sonic Mania transition. Sonic leaves and shows up in the next level.
But yeah, they did a pretty good job of restoring that in that hack.
Again, my favorite thing about the Dynamo is the happy face.
Oh yeah, it's like an UwU face.
Yeah, what you just said.
Welcome to the Shantae Pwaythruwu UwU.
You almost sounded like darts there for a second.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't the only one.
Well, I already felt disgusting doing it, but whatever. So, I like this playthrough. Playthrough.
Yeah.
I like this boss
Playthrough.
I like you guys. I know it's taken me nearly 10 years, but I just want to say right now I fucking love you guys.
Yeah, but I like this. This is a brand new boss fight for risky mode. And it's,
Annoying little brat.
yeah, which I love the boss title cards. But this is actually a really fun boss fight, I think. So, oh yeah, and the fact that it's A, completely original, and B, Shantae uses all of her moves.
Well,
in a boss fight way.
not completely original. There are parts of it taken from the Nega Shantae fight.
Well, yeah, that's true, but that's more of a, like, that mermaid move is from the Nega Shantae fight. But,
Yeah.
I really do like that they kind of made Shantae's moveset a boss fight, if that makes sense. Like, she does boss fighty type moves that she would never do as a playable character, kind of like how Risky kind of has moves from that she can use in this form in her boss fight at the end of Half Genie Hero. But it's also, she can also do stuff that she couldn't do when playing as her normally. I think it's cool that she gets a boss fight upgrade.
I thought it was the bat that was supposed to be blind. I like how Shantae is just a complete sitting duck.
Yeah,
when she's dancing, though.
Yeah, she can take bullets to the face, you know.
And keep dancing. Dance through a bullet storm.
The minions shred her apart.
Oh yeah, this is like the only part of the game where the Tinkerbats are actually useful. You know. Well, when I'm not shooting them into the wall or whatever. But they only ever do 3 damage apiece, so
yeah, but when 4 of them are doing 3 damage apiece at the same time.
That's still only 12 damage, which we can do in one shot with the bombs.
Yeah, but you can fire while
that
they
you
do
can
that.
do on top of your pistol.
Well, that's just what makes Risky so much fun, is that you have so much damage options and you can do damage repeatedly. I actually kind of hope that for a future game, they would try to make Shantae... Like, I think... They already kind of do this in this game, but I think that if going forward, if they were to make another game and have Risky Mode be a part of it, I would think like if they further emphasize the linear stuff with Risky, because her moves are most fun in a linear fashion where you're just plowing through shit.
Yeah,
and Shantae I think lends herself to exploration better, you know.
Yeah, I think part of the reason I haven't played as much Half Genie Hero is because it's not as much of a Metroidvania.
Yeah, and so Risky and the other modes too, I think, are also pretty good as like a actiony plow through kind of power trip sort of thing, as opposed to a Metroidvania more explory kind of thing. Shantae's moveset lends itself more to exploring than linear.
And the thing fails anyway.
So yes, the canon nature of Pirate Queen's Curse is up in the air because this is just the way that Risky tells it, that she totally beat Shantae, but oh, it's the Tinkerbat's fault that the dynamo blew up. Yep.
Okay, so I want an ending image of Risky sitting on a stump reading a book to a bunch of Tinkerbats. While I was just playing the music while Shantae and Bella were just like, huh? Also love the Tinkerbats going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
So that happened.
So wait, that's just Risky's version of the story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an upcoming dialogue thing where she's like, yes, that's how it really happened. You know, and at the beginning of the emoji says, there's two sides to every story. This is how I think it happened, you know, and it's just like, okay, right, it happened that way.
Sure it is.
I would have had it all if it weren't for these bunglers. Imbeciles!
If it weren't for the meddling kid.
Ooh, just talking about it makes me want to punish you all again! Get back here!
Yeah, so the writer had things they were working through when making this, so yeah. Oh yeah, and these credits take forever, so... If you back the game, your name's in there somewhere, pause, and maybe you'll find it.
Freeze framing, you
Unfortunately,
too
I
might be able to find
couldn't
yourself.
back
John, Ted, and I are in there somewhere.
Actually, no,
Wow,
I'm not.
this is still going.
I'm not in there because
Really?
I put my name in there as Ted quotation marks X and Shadow, Weezin. But if you have quotations, they cut your name out, and I didn't send in the thing to fix it in
replacement.
time. So no, I'm not
Oops.
in there. Oops. Yeah. But the songs Dance Through the Danger, they feature it more in the Shantae playthrough. They just cut it in all the others because it's like Shantae's theme song for the game. Basically, it's actually sung by Shantae's voice actor, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Captain Claw. Next time.
You could
By
have.
making
You were
that
so close to being under 2 hours. You could have gotten that
Yeah,
extra special image.
yeah. So I only get 2 sexy images of Risky as opposed to 3 sexy images of Risky.
So
Same
what, just
image.
different bathing suits?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the 100% clear one has money there too. But you basically there's I think 3 different pictures you can get. There's one for getting a fast time. Actually, there might be 4. There's one for getting a fast time, one for getting 100%, one for getting fast time with 100%, and I think just a
And then
standard.
the general clear, yeah.
Yeah, although all the extra modes, they're just kind of the same pose, but with like different clothes. Whereas for Shantae's normal mode, like I think they're completely different images for each one. But you know, I guess it makes sense because they're DLC stuff and whatever.
Okay.